Thank you for joining us on Discussion to Action. Today we're going to be talking about the common phrase made by many women who say that there are no good men out there. And then we're also going to have a conversation about women of value. So you guys ready? Yeah. So when women are saying that, what is the message?
There are some men out there that ain't no good.
Right.
Like they're out there to literally, because my sister have been in some situations like a man literally was dating her, had a wife in New York, had kids, and put on this whole facade like he was it. So men are out there purposely trying, they're no good. But then when women just like, there ain't no good men, I can't do that, she's damaged. She's hurt. And that's all, she just speaking from pain. And she don't know how to elaborate that there aren't any good men.
Okay.
Or articulate.
Then we attract. So if you see it, you're the common denominator. All these men aren't good. This man wasn't good, and this man wasn't good, and this man. You gotta look. Okay, out of all this, what's the common denominator? If you're the common denominator, then you may be attracting that thing.
Good. And I want to go back to the whole defining a good man and a not so good man, because that wasn't so clear. You did define a little bit or say what you felt, but you still knocked on wood. So the point is,
Can I say, I would knock on wood on anybody and everybody, because I'm still tripping about, can I say like celebrity names? I don't know how that, like, when I think about like Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I'm just like, okay, so it's this whole scandal, which I ain't mad, get your money, you know, if you gotta cheat on me, let's make some money off of it, that's how it goes. But I just look at that context, I feel like you're always knocking on wood in every relationship, in every situation, no matter how big, how small, how rich, how poor, like it's always just up for it, you don't know what you're gonna get, but that's just me.
but it shouldn't be that way though. Just because it is, the point is that coming up with a reason why and how to make that not be the case in your life. Because I'm not trying to be like, well, everybody is knocking on wood, so I'm going to be knocking on wood too.
But I think that that's part of being alert. I don't consider myself a cheater, but I wouldn't say, oh no, I would never cheat on my, you know what I'm saying? I just think that life throws at you different circumstances. You may feel a certain way on a certain type of day. You go out and I don't know. And like I said, I don't consider myself a cheater, put that on the record. That's not what I'm about, but I just think that people are vulnerable, life happens, you just never know where you or the person you with might end up. And I don't think it's necessarily in their heart. It's different if I got a whole nother family, like you were talking about across, that's living a lifestyle. But if you just kind of get caught up in something.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that people get caught up and you should always, I don't think you have to knock on wood, but that sentiment, I can see why it would always be pervasive.
But if people are getting caught up, in other words, you're saying people make mistakes or...
Yes.
So, but that has nothing really to do with knocking on wood. It doesn't have anything to do with like what we're talking about, because if you're saying you're a good person, and generally you're saying, well, I wouldn't call myself a cheater, but anything can happen type thing, it doesn't mean that you're not a good woman.
But is that what we're saying though?
But that's what I'm asking. What is a good man and what is a not so good man? Because women throw it out there. There aren't any good men out here. Men ain't, you know, whatever the case is. So I'm asking, how do you define that? Why is it being said? Because it's not so simple as, you know, well, everybody, we all should just knock on wood. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to knock on wood. Like, I really just rather be
I think
by myself.
I think that is kind of generational too, in a sense. Like I know that my sisters, well, she's kind of in my same generation actually, but like her age group.
What's the age difference?
Like my sister's 19, so and I'm 26. So we're kind of like in the same generation, but like her age group, what they're worried about when they're finding like their man is completely different from what I'm worried about right now from finding somebody like who I want to be with.
So elaborate.
Like, okay, so she only thing she worried about is if her man cheating. Like, that's it. Like, you know, just don't cheat on me. And that's all. Like, she's not worried about like the things, right? The things supporting her like dreams, or having someone who like feeds your soul, like is worried about your well-being, like is encouraging you, complimenting you. Well, compliments are not like, oh my gosh, but like what I'm saying is like, you know, just those things like to tell you that you're beautiful, like just things. She's not worried about that. She don't care if her boyfriend tells her she's beautiful.
But
like I'm bomb, you cheat on me, I'm leaving you. Like that's it for her, and that's just how the cookie crumbles.
But everybody, I think that there's transitions, just like there is in everybody's life, for every woman, depending on how mature you are, you know, how old you are, how mature you are, not necessarily generation. But again, the thing is still, maybe she doesn't know what a good man is, you know, or what a not so good. And you have something to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I believe it is likeness. You are drawing yourself. So if you're saying there are no good men, common denominator. You gotta look at yourself. What are you drawing? You're drawing your likeness, and you want someone that you can stand with. I don't want a for me type of person. If you're willing to do everything for me but not with me, then you're not, in my eyes, a good man for me. You know, it's I can't be sharpened by you doing everything for me and not doing anything with me. So your character, the essence of who you are you honest with yourself first and foremost? Are you going to be honest with yourself enough to be honest with me? And then can I be honest with you and it not ruin our day? And we just talked about today. And so the basics of things, how we relate to each other in a simple conversation. We don't have to be the same person, but can we talk and get to a common ground? Because that's not easy to do with men and women these days. Watching, it doesn't even matter if you're in a marriage or a sexual relationship, just period. It's not easy to do to come to common ground because you're not a good listener. That's what a thing that makes you a good man to me. If you're a good listener, if you're a good responder, are you going to react to what I'm saying or are you going to respond? Are you going to be able to say, wait a minute, I need time to think about that? Or are you going to switch on me and now all of a sudden that the person that you really wanted to be showed up because I said something that was, you weren't prepared to hear or whatever, you know? It's really those basics. And if you're consistently growing and looking for me to grow, then I think you're a good person because no one's a good person, not even myself, because I'm always growing into something. So I consider myself a good person because I'm honest and I'm open and I'm willing. So those type of things for me make you a good person.
Just that friendship part. I think that's what happened with this guy. We were friends first. Before it had to be sparks and we just when you're younger.
So
We're just friends now. We could grow old and just be whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, with what you were saying of a man being a good listener. Is that kind of in context? And maybe I'm just being stereotypical, but I'm like, how much do I really expect for a man to listen? Are you talking about, or maybe, and like I said, this might just be being putting this on men. I don't really think men, I think they listen maybe more with an intent, not necessarily to actually hear and receive. Maybe just to kind of, to resolve, like kind of like what you were talking about. You want to do it for me as opposed to with me. If you're really listening to me, then you'll probably help me to work through it. But instead of just trying to come up quickly with an answer. Can anybody else relate to having a different expectation of men listening? Or am I just making that up and being stereotypical like men don't listen anyway?
I think they do actually listen, like to be with you, like kind of what she said, because like I had a friend, we just barely were friends like 2 months ago, but we were talking kind of like nonstop for a while, and like I could tell the difference between when I was like, if I had a concern or whatever, like he would actually work with it through me to help me grow as a person, and we were just friends. And so it's just like, it wasn't even for like trying to date, trying to impress me. He just was genuinely listening. He was genuinely like, okay, well, you have this issue. Maybe have you tried this? Have you done that? Like, oh, well, you know what? I'll help you do this. Like, he was just an accountability partner as a friend, not as a, okay, I just got to do all this so she likes me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he's just being genuine. So there are guys that will genuinely just be a friend first, or genuinely just, you know, listen.
Okay, I want to go back because again, I feel like it's still not defined, so let me say this then, a different way. Does that mean that women saying this, it's just false? Because we haven't still defined really what a good man is and what a not so good man is. and it's being said all the time, to the point to where the guys really had something to say about it because they hear it all the time. But now when we're here, it's kind of like, it's still, I don't know if anybody else is getting the point, you know, like it's not being, so is it made up then? Because now it's all of a sudden like, well, none of us are really good, and you know, we all should knock on wood, and I don't know, that's kind of what I got out of it.
There's no absolutes, you know,
Yes.
it's not a true or
Yes.
false kind of thing. There's not 100%, this statement could be true for the person saying it. I just happen to be in my circle, I don't hear it a lot.
Me either.
I heard it in my, I'm older now, I heard it in my mid-20s, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But now, it's not a common, like in my circle, I really, and these people have been through some stuff, but they still know that everybody's an individual. To lump everyone in together and say there's no good man is really not a deep level of understanding.